Hey guys, PA Reloader here. Hope everybody's doing great. Today's a beautiful day and it's a great day for me to bring you another cook. Today what we're doing is we're going to do an 8-pound pork butt. Now I've already seasoned and trimmed it. The pork butt that I chose had about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit less of a fat cap. So it was perfect. I didn't have to do any trimming. Really, I had like maybe 2 pieces that were just kind of loose that I cut off. I seasoned it. There's plenty of videos out there that will show you how to trim and season a pork butt, and I just didn't want to waste your time doing that. So I have the pork butt over here. I made my own seasoning. It's salt, pepper, garlic, and paprika, and it really tastes great on smoked meats. So I'm going to do a 4-hour cook initially without even looking at it. I'm using a competition blend of pellets made by Pitt. So that should really give the pork butt some good flavor. Once the 4-hour mark hits, I'll probe it, and then what I'll do is I'll probably spritz it every hour after that. Once it hits 165, which I'm assuming is going to be the stall, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it in brown butcher paper, and we're going to keep probing it every hour until we get internal temperature of about 203 to 205. And then what I'm going to do is I like to let anything that I smoke rest for a good amount of time. So I'm going to let this rest for at least an hour, maybe 2 or 3 hours. I'll actually let it rest in a cooler. So let's get the Pit Boss fired up, and I'll get back to you. So just real quick, here's a picture of the pork butt, and you can see it's kind of square. It's uniform. The sides are nice and thick all around, and like I said, I have my seasoning on there. And the reason that I smoke with these aluminum trays, and the reason I do that is because the broth that comes off of this meat, I want to save that, because what I want to do is I'm going to separate the fat from the broth, and then I'm going to use that broth to put back into the pulled pork once I shred the meat. So that's what I like to do. People put them on the smoker, but I think they lose a lot of the broth out of, from the meat, and it goes into their waste bucket. So that's what I do. I just wanted to share that. It's a little tip in case you guys want to try it, but the smoke flavor is there anyway, so it's going to be fine. And like I said in my other videos, the smoke's got to travel all the way across to the smokestack, and so it's getting smoked the whole time. So I can hear the pellets dropping in. Fans on, igniters on, and we're on low setting right now, which I like to do because I don't want to go right up to temp yet. I want the smoker to ignite at a low temperature, and then I'm going to jack it up to probably 250. I'm going to smoke it at. I'm thinking it's going to take probably 9 hours. I just got home from work, and it's like 11:30, 12 o'clock. So it's going to take me into the evening. So hang in there. We're going to put one probe in it. I already have it hooked up. So we'll probe the meat. We'll have the internal ambient temperature of what's going on inside the smoker, and then we'll have an idea of what's going on inside the pulled pork. Now this is a bone-in pulled pork, which I highly recommend. You pull that bone out when it's done, and that bone should have no meat on it. It should be clean. So let's let this ignite. You can see it starting to smoke. So we almost have a fire, and then once that ignites, I'm going to jack up the temperature to 250, and then I'm going to throw the pork butt on. So hang in there. Okay, we got some smoke rolling, and we have a fire. So this smoke should get out of here, and we're going to turn this up. There's 250. I'm going to set it. Okay, 250 set. We got a good fire. I'm going to close that sear option, which I showed you in another video, that you can open and close the sear option so you can put a nice sear on your steak after you season it, or whatever chicken, whatever. So I just closed that. So now we're in a smoke mode. So I'm going to throw this pork butt on. And that bone is right here. So I'm going to turn this. And I'm going to probe that. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. That's a little bit after. It's 12:07. So we'll check it in 4 hours. So let's just let it cook low and slow. These competition pellets are going to give it great flavor. And we'll check it in 4, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, temperature's climbing. We're at 186.7. It's coming up to 250. And we have nice heat coming out of here. And you can see that there's hardly any, a little bit of blue smoke, not much, burning very clean, which I wanted. So everything's looking good. We're at 198. So that thing should hang around 250. I'm assuming that it's a little bit windy, so I wouldn't be surprised if it hits 260 to 240 in that range. So we're gonna let it come up to temp. Hopefully it'll stabilize at 250. It should, and we're gonna go from there. All right, looking good. We're at 250, and it might come up a little bit above 250, but it looks pretty good. It's hanging at 250, so we'll take that, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, we are at 250, holding steady, and the first probe says 51 degrees Fahrenheit. When I threw it on the pork butt, we were at 49 Fahrenheit. So it's slowly rising. Like I said, it's going to take 4 hours, and that's why we're not going to touch it. And then we're going to spritz it. Okay guys, we're at the 4 hour mark. You can see here, hopefully, that we have an internal temperature of the pork butt at 133 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's time to check it out, and it's time to spritz. So let's go up here. I got my apple cider vinegar. That's what I'm using. Let's open this up. Oh, that's looking great. Look at the bark on that. I did put a pan of water in here just to give it a little bit of moisture, but that is really coming out nice. So there's a little bit of broth in the pan. I think we're going to be able to use that. So let's spritz it. Not much, just a light coat. Pull this out, this meat probe, and we're going to turn this. Now this is the bone side, remember? So we're going to give a little bit of spritz in here. Not much, just enough to keep that moisture going. Okay, we're going to turn it back. Okay, the water bowl looks like it's got plenty of water in it, and this pork butt is looking really nice. So far I'm really pleased with it, and we really haven't used that much pellets. I just checked it and it's below the grade a little bit, but I'm thinking we probably used maybe 8 pounds of pellets already. So let's get this closed up, and we'll spritz it every hour to every hour and a half, just because it's looking so good. All right, guys. And this folding shelf really comes in handy. All right, we'll get back to you. All right, guys, we are officially in the stall. It's been hanging around 156 to 170, or I'm sorry, 156 to 157, and it won't climb anymore. So we're gonna get ready to take this off the smoker and wrap it. Okay, let's look at it. It's looking real good. Let's give it another spritz. And then we're going to wrap it. Nice. There's a lot of broth in that pan right now. So I'm going to throw this glove on. We'll pull the probe for now. These guys on. Alright, so the probe's getting pulled, and I am going to bring it over to the table so we can wrap it. Okay, let's wrap it up. Gloves on. I sprayed a little apple cider vinegar on this paper so it can sit flat. Okay. Okay, let's get this back on the smoker. It's wrapped, it's in the pan. And again, I'm using the foil to keep all the broth that this thing has. It's getting soft. Okay. All right, guys. Well, it is 7 o'clock, and I think we got about 2 more hours on this cook. The internal temperature is right around 175 to 176, so it's coming out of that stall. And once it breaks that stall, the temperature should rise pretty quick. I got my headlamp, so I'm going to keep you guys out here as long as I possibly can. And once we get it in the cooler, we'll just have to wait. I'm going to keep it in there for probably an hour to 2 hours. So hang in there. I'm going to give you as much light as I possibly can so you can see everything, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, it's been 14 and a half hours, and we're going to check this. I think I'm hitting that bone. Get it into the cooler. Okay, we have a lot of broth in this tray. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend these sides up because I want to keep all this moisture in the tray as it rests. All right. Okay, so there's the pork butt. It's in the foil tray, and there's a lot of broth that is in that tray that it's going to help that meat soften up and hopefully just break apart. That bone will come right out. And so I'm going to let it rest for about 2 hours, and then we're going to pull it apart and see how it comes out. Okay, guys, now's the moment of truth. We're going to, the pork butt's been resting for 2 hours, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take it out of the cooler. We're going to put it on the mat. We're going to drain the broth off, and we're going to see what happens. Oh yeah, look at that. All that is going right back into the pulled pork. So we'll put that to the side. Can you guys see that? That looks awesome. I want to put it in this pan. this over here, and let's try to find that bone. There's a piece of bone right there. I don't want that, but I want to find the main bone. Look at that. That bone came out nice and clean. There is nothing on that. Put that to the side, and then we can just start mashing this. I want to give you guys a better view, so let me rinse my hands real quick. I want you guys to see this whole process. Take a look at that. Just keep ripping it up. Just keep ripping it up. And like I said, when I bought this, there was about maybe a quarter inch, maybe less of a fat cap on it. And like I said, the brisket, I mean, not the brisket, but the pork butt, when I bought it, it was very uniform in size. It was kind of square. I showed you guys that earlier on camera. And I just figured it'd be a good, this is the piece I'm going to eat right there. I thought it would be a really good piece just because how uniform it was, that it would smoke evenly. I don't want that. Yeah, this looks really, really good. Let's try it now. Really good flavor. I like those spices that I blended together. Real tender. You can see the bark. You can see smoke ring. This is really good. Definitely. Really, really good. I'm gonna make some really good sandwiches with this. So, in all, it took me 14 and a half hours to smoke this to completion, and 2 hours to rest. And I'll tell you what, even though it was resting for 2 hours, this is like super hot. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing you more cooks, and I'm glad I shared this one with you guys. And please like it, share it, leave comments if you need to know anything I did or any tips that you might want to know about. Just hit me up, and please, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe to the channel. So thanks again for hanging out with me through this process, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.